Financial baggage such as credit card debts, medical bills or loans, which can feel like stepping into quicksand. Just when life is beginning to feel solid again. Financial independence isn't just a shield against these risks. It's a way to freedom and joy. It's the ability to travel on a whim to invest in beloved hobbies or to provide generously for children or grandchildren without compromise for these men. Every dollar represents autonomy, a chance to live life on their terms after decades of meeting others needs the thought of blending finances or sharing financial burdens in a new relationship often feels like an unwelcome weight eroding the peace they've fought so hard to achieve. Yes, relationships offer emotional connection and companionship, but they also bring financial entanglements that can be fraught with tension. Blending families, sharing expenses, and managing differing expectations about money often come with stress and even heartbreak for many men in this stage of life. The serenity of staying single outweighs the potential joy of a relationship. It's not necessarily a rejection of love, but a profound embrace of the peace that comes from standing on firm financial ground. Ultimately, financial independence is more than a number on a bank statement. It's a deeply personal achievement that provides older men with a sense of control, pride, and fulfillment. Choosing to remain single isn't about shutting people out, it's about protecting the hard one. Stability that allows them to live life with dignity and without regret. After all, peace of mind is priceless, and for many, that's the greatest gift they can give themselves in their later years. 5 emotional wounds, the loss of confidence in dating for many older men. The journey back into the world of dating after years or even decades feels like standing at the edge of a vast, unfamiliar ocean. The confidence they once carried in their younger years, when flirtation felt natural and connection came with ease, has faded over time, often replaced by a shadow of self-doubt and uncertainty. They remember who they were, bold, charismatic, maybe even adventurous. But now, those memories feel like relics of another life. Distant and out of reach, re-entering the dating world can feel like stepping into a game where the rules have drastically changed, leaving them unsure of how to play modern dating with its apps and unspoken etiquettes, can feel alienating. How do you express your interest without seeming too forward? How do you convey your worth when you feel weighed down by the years? These are the questions that echo in the minds of many older men, fueling an anxiety that can be paralyzing. The fear of rejection is no longer just about bruising the ego. It cuts deeper. It taps into insecurities, about aging, about appearance, about whether they are still enough in a world that often values youth above all else. Every perceived flaw, a receding hairline, a softer physique, or an outdated sense of humor feels magnified under the harsh light of self-criticism. This vulnerability can be so overwhelming that it convinces some men to not even try, retreating into a cocoon of isolation, where it's safer to avoid the risk of embarrassment altogether. But it's not just romantic relationships that suffer. Even social interactions with peers can become fraught with difficulty. The fear of being judged or misunderstood can make conversations feel stilted and superficial, leaving them yearning for deeper connections, yet unsure of how to create them over time. The lack of practice in navigating social dynamics only widens the gap, making it even harder to take that first step back into the world of connection. And yet, behind this struggle lies a deep desire, a longing for companionship, for warmth, for the kind of intimacy that reminds them they are still alive and worthy of love. It's heartbreaking to think of someone closing themselves off to the world, not because they don't care, but because they fear they won't be accepted for who they are now. Breaking the cycle isn't easy, but it begins with small acts of courage, choosing vulnerability over fear, daring to believe that connection is still possible, and realizing that their value is not defined by their age, but by the richness of their experiences and the authenticity they bring to the table. While the wounds of lost confidence run deep, they are not insurmountable. With patience, self-compassion, and the willingness to take even the smallest of steps, it is possible to rediscover not just the confidence to date, but the joy of being seen and appreciated for who they truly are. 6 health challenges, the impact of aging on relationships. As men journey through their 60s and 70s, the inevitable decline in health can cast a long shadow over their relationships, reshaping how they view intimacy, connection, and even their self-worth. Chronic conditions such as diabetes, heart disease, arthritis, and mobility challenges become more common, and their toll goes beyond the physical, these health struggles often erode confidence and self-esteem, leaving many men feeling less attractive or even incapable of maintaining a relationship. For someone who once thrived on their strength and vitality, this can feel deeply disheartening, almost like losing a part of their identity. The emotional weight of feeling like a burden to a partner is another harsh reality for many aging men. They may worry that their limitations, physical or otherwise, will strain the relationship or rob it of its joy and spontaneity. This fear can lead to withdrawal. Even when their partner is understanding and supportive for some, it's easier to avoid romantic entanglements altogether than to face the vulnerability of sharing their struggles, adding to the complexity. Many men experience a natural decline in libido as they age. This shift often tied to hormonal changes, medication, side effects, or simply the aging process, changes how they prioritize physical intimacy for men who once found great joy and fulfillment in physical connection. This loss can feel bittersweet. Others, however, find unexpected freedom in letting go of the pressures of maintaining a sexual relationship, realizing that deep companionship or even solitary peace can be equally fulfilling. It's not uncommon for older men to redefine what relationship means to them. For some, the companionship of close friends, cherished family, or even a loyal pet becomes enough to satisfy their emotional needs. The thought of navigating the challenges of a romantic relationship while also managing ongoing health concerns can feel overwhelming for these men. Focusing on their health, independence, and personal peace becomes a higher priority than rekindling romance. And yet, this decision isn't always made lightly. It often comes with a mix of acceptance and sorrow. Acceptance that life changes, and sorrow for the parts of themselves they feel they've lost along the way. But perhaps this chapter of life also teaches an invaluable lesson that love and connection take many forms, whether through a partner, a friend, or simply the quiet comfort of being kind to oneself. There is still profound beauty in the relationships that remain and grow in this stage of life. The journey of aging, with all its trials, challenges us to reconsider what truly matters. It's not about clinging to the relationships or dynamics of the past, but rather embracing the ways we can still give and receive love, even as our bodies and priorities change. 7. Family dynamics. The complications of stepchildren for older men, especially those in their late 50s to 70s stepping into a new relationship, often comes with emotional and practical hurdles. Beyond just getting to know a partner, one of the most delicate and at times emotionally exhausting challenges is navigating the intricate web of family dynamics, particularly when it involves stepchildren. These children, whether they are teenagers still living at home or grown adults with lives of their own, can sometimes become an unintentional barrier to the happiness and harmony of a new relationship. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment tube below to let me know that you are still here with me. Imagine walking into a family where bonds, routines, and expectations are already deeply rooted for a man trying to find companionship. In his later years, the resistance from his partner's children can feel like an invisible wall that's almost impossible to climb. The children may see him as an intruder, someone who is disrupting the balance or even replacing a beloved father figure. The emotional undercurrent of their skepticism can be sharp and unrelenting, manifesting in cold shoulders, subtle comments, or outright hostility. This resistance doesn't just hurt. It can make a man feel like a stranger in a place where he desperately wants to belong, for men who have already raised children. The prospect of dealing with the complexities of someone else's family can feel overwhelming. They've likely spent decades balancing their own family's needs, and the thought of stepping into another cycle of emotional, caretaking, financial support, or conflict resolution can feel like too much to bear. Many men enter their later years hoping for peace and companionship, not to take on the burden of mending strained relationships with stepchildren who may not want them there in the first place. And it's not just about the children's feelings, it's about the man's sense of identity and emotional needs. When a partner's children are unwelcoming or openly hostile, it can erode his confidence and sense of security in the relationship. How can love thrive in a space where tension and resentment linger in the air for many? It's not just a logistical issue, it's an emotional one. The home, ideally, a sanctuary of love and connection, can instead feel like a battleground, where he's perpetually fighting for acceptance to complicate matters further. These children may bring their own financial needs or emotional baggage into the mix, adding strain to an already delicate situation, whether it's college tuition, career struggles, or unresolved grief over the loss of a previous parent. Present, these issues can feel like an overwhelming weight for someone who entered the relationship, hoping for simplicity and mutual support. It's no surprise that many men in this age group, already emotionally cautious, after a lifetime of experiences, may see these dynamics as a deal breaker. They may retreat, preferring the safety of solitude over the potential heartbreak of stepping into a family where they feel out of place for some. The dream of finding love in later life simply isn't worth the price of navigating such turbulent waters. Ultimately, the challenges of blending families in later life can test the patience and resilience of even the most understanding individual. Yet for those who can navigate these complexities with empathy and open communication, there is the possibility of building something truly beautiful. A new chapter filled with mutual respect, love, and perhaps even acceptance from the very stepchildren who once resisted them. But the emotional cost of getting there cannot be ignored, and it's a journey. Not all men feel equipped to take 8 painful past relationships, the lingering impact of divorce. Divorce is not just a legal process. It's an emotional earthquake that shakes the very foundation of a man's life, especially when it strikes later in life for many older men. The experience leaves deep and enduring scars, both seen and unseen. The financial devastation alone can feel unbearable. Losing a house that once held years of memories, grappling with our payments that stretch into the future, or watching a carefully built pension erode overnight for men who have spent decades toiling to secure financial stability. These losses often feel like a betrayal, a cruel reminder that the life they built with trust and dedication can crumble in an instant, but the pain goes beyond the numbers. Divorce is also an identity crisis, a moment when a man is forced to confront the reality that the role he played as a husband, a protector and a provider, has been stripped away. It's not just the loss of a partner, it's the loss of a shared dream, a vision of growing old together, and a sense of purpose that may have been intricately tied to that relationship. The emotional void left behind is overwhelming. Loneliness creeps in like an uninvited guest, and the fear of opening up again becomes almost paralyzing for those who dare to consider the idea of new relationships. The stakes feel impossibly high. The thought of risking not just the heart, but also the hard-earned financial security, again feels like stepping into a battlefield without armor. Many men ask themselves, is it worth it? And more often than not, the answer is a resigned no. Instead, they retreat into solitude, finding comfort in the predictability of their own company rather than the unpredictable terrain of love and trust. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me, having gone through such a painful chapter. It's no wonder many men conclude that life alone is safer and less complicated. The wounds of divorce, both emotional and financial, take time to heal. And for some, they never fully close. But perhaps there's a silver lining in this solitude, a chance to rediscover oneself, to rebuild a life on new terms, and to find peace without the weight of old expectations. While the road is lonely, it is also a path towards resilience, growth, and perhaps a deeper understanding of what truly matters. 9. Considering the future. The potential loneliness of old age as we move through the seasons of life. It's easy to focus on the present, especially for men who find solace and satisfaction in their independence. Many men cherish their single lives, enjoying the peace and freedom that comes with solitude. However, the reality of aging often brings a sobering truth. The later years of life may not always be as carefree as they are now. Health challenges can arise. Unexpectedly, mobility might decline. And the simple routines of daily living can become daunting. Tasks like managing medications, cooking, or even climbing a set of stairs can evolve into hurdles that no one imagines. In their younger years, the thought of navigating such challenges alone can feel heavy even for the most self-reliant among us, while the quiet of solitude might be a blessing. Today, the potential for complete isolation in the twilight years can be deeply unsettling. Picture an empty house, with the only sounds of the ticking of a clock or the hum of an appliance. No conversations, no shared laughter, no comforting presence at the end of a long day. It's a stark image, and one that many men don't allow themselves to confront until it's too late for some. The idea of companionship only becomes important when the need for it becomes unavoidable. The emotional and physical support a partner provides, someone to lean on to share the small joys and burdens of life, can feel like a lifeline in a time of vulnerability. This realization often arrives like a bittersweet wave, tinged with regret for opportunities missed and connections overlooked. Yet this isn't about settling or rushing into relationships out of fear. It's about striking a delicate balance, preserving the peace of independence, while staying open to the warmth and safety of companionship. No one wants to reach their later years with the ache of loneliness as their closest companion. But the courage to prepare for this future, whether through nurturing friendships, building stronger family ties, or reconsidering the role of a romantic partner, can be the difference between a life lived fully and one shadowed by isolation. The truth is that life's final chapters can be profoundly meaningful, but they're often enriched by the presence of another. The challenge lies in recognizing the need for that connection before it becomes a longing too late to fulfill. Let this be a gentle reminder to cherish your independence. Yes, but don't turn away from the possibility of sharing life's journey with someone who can walk beside you when the road gets rough after all. Even the strongest among us deserve a hand to hold when the night feels long as we come to the end of this discussion. Let's take a moment to reflect on the insights we've shared. Aging is a journey filled with both challenges and opportunities, and preparing for the future is one of the most meaningful acts of self-care we can undertake. What have you learned from this video that resonated with you the most? Is there one idea or realization that you'll bring into practice in your own life? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Please share them in the comments below. Your perspective could inspire others and create a deeper connection within this community. If you found this video valuable, don't forget, get it to like, share and subscribe to our channel for more content that helps you navigate life's most important stages together. We can learn, grow and embrace the beauty of every season in life. Thank you for watching and we'll see you in the next video, glowing star.